Hello, Roxy video. Today we're going to take a look at the Open Ultra League and 10 teams they can use in this one. This is going to be available for 2 weeks again. There's not a lot of things that change. We're going to take a look at the new Slowbro in both variants with the move Surf, which is going to be available from Saturday on with the Community Day. And we're also going to have now the best update of the season. Jellicent going to have Surf now, which is going to put it at rank 20, going to give it some more wins, especially against like something like Talonflame or also a Charizard, which is going to be a little bit easier to beat, Galarian Stunfisk, which is easier to beat, Swampert, which is going to be easier to beat. So this Pokemon going to be the best one that you're going to have here. From the recent move updates, you could of course also use all your favorite Boom Burst users, but yeah, none of them actually uses the Boom Burst here, so kind of sad, even though I really would like to see some Shadow Bite Explode action here with Boom Burst. That would have been amazing. But yeah, otherwise, same meta basically as we had before. A lot of Pidgeot, a lot of Registeel, a lot of Giratina, a lot of Gliscor. Cresselia still very good, Cobalion still very good, Swampert still going to be very strong, Charizard going to be a very cheap pick, Gustlord kinda underrated most likely, Virizion going to be everywhere as well as Tapu Fini and Warren. And Warren also going to be very good. But yeah, that's going to be it for that one. Let's go into the teams. First team here going to be around the new Jellicent with Surf. Of course, we're going to have Gliscor in the lead, which is going to be an interesting one for this meta in general. Gliscor is a very cool core breaker, especially as the Shadow version. We're going to have the Sasop of the Double, which is going to be also a very good Pokemon. In this meta, needs to be fully XL though. Like, I don't know if a lot of people have this Pokemon. You can also use something like the Registeel, which makes it a little bit awkward against something like a Swampert. You could also try something out like Virizion maybe, but it's a little bit tricky. Like, there's not really good Sasop for this position in my opinion, other than really Double. But like, not a lot of Pokemon, not a lot of people have Double because it wasn't really spawning recently. Actually thinking of it, most likely we're going to get someday again Generation 8 event, so it's going to be interesting when we're going to get this, maybe somewhere next summer or something, like this summer or something, because we're kind of getting close to the end of Generation 7 again. Will be interesting when we get those Double back again, but yeah, very decent team still. Jellicent should be definitely having some decent play in this current meta. Next we are going to be a team that got someone to rank 1 in the world. I already made a video about this team as well. If you want to take a look, it's on my channel for the Open Ultra League. This team is very interesting. We're going to have the Kofak Regas in the lead, also needs fully XL candy there. Like, usually you should have them pretty easily if you play one Halloween event. But basically, if you don't play the Halloween event, you're going to struggle with those XL candy. Don't really know what else you can play there. Maybe Giratina, that also is like the similar typing, I guess, would help you out as well. Yeah, Giratina should actually be fine. You're going to have the Sasop here, I guess, of the Skuntank. I actually don't know what they use as Sasop here. Tapu Fini or Skuntank both have like their issues. Maybe Tapu Fini might be the little bit better Sasop here. Shadow Skuntank or also Drapion would be available for this team as well, which would work out well. Also, it's going to be interesting, this team with the Alolan Muk when it comes out. Like, Alolan Muk coming out in 10 days from when I'm recording, 9 days from when I publish this video. So definitely an interesting Pokemon for this team then as well. Alolan Muk as a Shadow version going to be very, very strong as well in the Ultra League. Next team here going to be also a team that got someone to rank 1 in the world before, which is going to be the Deoxys Defense in their lead, which is going to be, of course, a Pokemon that you might not be able to get. It's definitely a little bit expensive. Was recently in the race again for the Hoenn Tour though, so maybe you got some XL candy, maybe you got this Pokemon, then this team might be something for you. We're going to have the Saswap here of Warren, which I like as a Saswap a lot in the Ultra League. Is in my opinion maybe the best Sasop for the Ultra League. And we're going to have the Galarian Stunfisk in the back. Very cool Pokemon as well, of course. Galarian Stunfisk is kinda underrated, I feel like. I don't really see it too often in the Ultra League, even though it's very, very strong. Definitely a cool team here. Got someone to rank 1 in the world. You can also use Registeel in the back there, but Stunfisk definitely works out pretty well here. Next one here going to be very similar. We're going to have what I said as well. You can use the Registeel in the back, and here we're going to have the Snorlax as a Sasop. This is also a team that I used last season, which worked out pretty well. This is the pay-to-win version of the one before. The one before, of course, hits got someone to Legend, so I kind of want to do it separate there. But yeah, this would be a different option for this one. You can also use something like the Warren in the back and use the Snorlax as a Sasop, or the Warren as a Sasop and use Snorlax in the back. Usually you want to have the Shadow Snorlax though, because this Pokemon hits a little bit harder. You can still use the normal one as well. The cool thing about Snorlax is there are a lot of Ghost-type Pokemon with Shadow Claw in the current meta, like Giratina, like Kofak Regas. Those Pokemon will not really appreciate you. Also, what also won't appreciate you going to be the Jellicent, which is going to be also maybe a little bit more common now. So like for that, the Snorlax is a very good. You really have to depend if you want to if you want to go for the Earthquake or if you want to go for the Superpower. Really depends on what you want to do with it, because if you go for a Superpower, you might get locked into a Ghost which you cannot hit with Charge moves, which is kind of awkward. So, really depends on the team. I would recommend Superpower still, but really depends. Next team coming up here, we're going to have a team that I got from a viewer submission, which was actually pretty decent as well for them, which I think is also a really cool one. We're going to have the Charizard in the back theoretically, but they used the Manabus in the back, the Pelipper as a Sailsop, and also the Galarian Stunfisk in the lead here, which works out pretty well. Pelipper as a Sailsop is really underrated. If you got like a 100% one or something during the recent events where it was like spawning the last 2 events, I think. So if you got like a good one there, maybe try to power this one up for the Ultra League. It's a very good core breaker right now. There are a lot of fighting types like Virizion, like Cobalion, as well as some fire types like the Charizard around, which you really hit hard with this. You're going to be able to do some nice damage against other Galarian Stunfisk. Like this Pokemon is super free right now. Like there's not a lot of Pokemon that really hardware this Pokemon. So definitely something I would recommend you to get as well right now. Feels like one of the best core breaker for the meta. Next team here going to be also with the Jellicent. That's going to be an interesting one as well. We're going to have the Jellicent in the lead, and we're going to have the 2 Pokemon in the back that we already know with the Pidgeot lead a lot, which is going to be Cobalion and Virizion. Those two provide you actually some counters for Dark-type Pokemon, which you don't really will be able to beat with the Jellicent, and also for Normal-type Pokemon as well. So like fighting types together with Jellicent might be the way to go here. Also, of course, you could use the Registeel in the back, which also has access to the move Focus Blast, so you kind of have your Pseudo Fighter with that one here. But also, you're going to have a Water type in the lead, which is going to be good against all those Fire types. So you're going to have a Sailsop here of the Cobalion, which is going to be very decent as well to bait out Fire types, as well as having Stone Edge to knock them out, maybe. So you have a very good combination here to then try to clean up the game, maybe late game, with a Virizion. So I like this team, should be a pretty decent team. Let's go into the next one. If I could interest you in a no XL plus no legendary team, this might be one for you. Of course, you could theoretically use XL Candy on both. I think even Warring could theoretically use them, as well as the Trevenant, but you don't really have to. But yeah, like this team is pretty cheap to build. It doesn't need any legendaries. It's basically the 3 Pokemon that are not legendary or not fully XL that are the best in the current league there still. Even though Warring got nerfed, this Pokemon is still insanely good in the Open Ultra League. Kinda sad that it's not really as good anymore in the Great League, but still very cool Pokemon to use here. And we have the Swamp in the back, which will be able to beat those Fire-type Pokemon that you don't want to face with your lead. A little bit tricky, going to be something like a Trevenant, not like a Trevenant, like Obstagoon or a Scrafty. Those 2 Pokemon going to be a core breaker for your lead and your Sailsop, which is going to be, of course, the Warring. But yeah, this is going to be it for this one. Let's go for the next one. Next one is, I think, a team that got summoned to Legend, like to rank 1 on the leaderboards 2 seasons ago, which is still going to be very good because the Ultra League meta didn't really change over the last 2 seasons. Not gonna lie, there was not really a lot that changed there. So yeah, we're going to have here the lead of Warring. It might be actually still last season actually. The lead of Warring, we're going to have the Sailsop of the Tapu Fini, and we're going to have the Charizard in the back. Also a very cheap team. Also showcased on my channel. I don't know if it was last or the season before, but still very good team. Should work out pretty well. I also had a great run with this team when I played myself. Charizard, I think, was normal Charizard, not even the Shadow Charizard on this team, but you can also use the Shadow Charizard for this one if you want to, but definitely a very good team here. Warring, really good in this meta still, and also, again, here, a cheap team where you don't really need XL Candy. Now we can take the opportunity to talk a little bit about the Slowbro. I tried to build a team around it. It's a little bit tricky, not gonna lie. This is going to be mostly not the craziest best team, but still should work out pretty well. Usually you just want to stay in with your lead there and then have the backline there together, because you cannot really deal with dark types with your Slowbro. Of course, you're going to have the Pokemon in the back there which can do that, which is the Virizion, while Slowbro will be able to deal with fire type Pokemon, which Virizion doesn't really deal well together. So you kind of want to just play out the lead, try to get either switch advantage or shield advantage with the Registeel here, and then try to win with that. Don't think that Slowbro, Slowking, or also like the other 2 forms going to be as good currently in the Ultra League meta, but I think they're going to be very decent when there are like Ultra League Cups again, because I think for those they're going to be very strong. Slowbro has pretty decent bulk for the Ultra League as well, but yeah, definitely a Pokemon that you can try to get, but maybe not the best for this meta right now. The final team for this cup going to be another one with the Slowbro, this time around the Galarian version of it, which is going to also get the move Surf, which is going to give it some better coverage, I guess, but it's a little bit tricky to play this Pokemon here. Actually, while you will see here on the graphics, it's most likely going to run something like either Psychic or Sludge Bomb. I don't know what I put in there actually. Like, it's basically pretty much the same if you run a Psychic or a Sludge Bomb. They are usually neutral against a lot of Pokemon. I actually would recommend you with this team, if you use the Say Soap, to run Surf plus Focus Blast, because Focus Blast will allow you to hit like those steel types that are coming in that might not expect that one, and Surf gives you the best coverage move for that, and you don't have to get rid of the Legacy move then as soon as you get it, so it might be an interesting one for you. Don't think it's going to be too crazy good though, so like that's my honest opinion on that one. I think it's going to be better always for all Slowpoke, whatever. They're all going to be better in like limited metas, not really in the open one, because the Water and Psychic typing doesn't seem to be as good for that. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one and have a great rest of your day. Bye!